ISAC Advanced in AI Audit, often shortened to AAIA, is not a starter certification for someone who is just beginning to learn cybersecurity, audit, or artificial intelligence. It is an advanced credential for audit, assurance, governance, risk, and advisory professionals who need to evaluate how artificial intelligence is designed, governed, operated, controlled, and audited inside real organizations. This episode is part of the Monday Certified feature from Bare Metal Cyber Magazine, where we take a practical look at certifications and explain where they fit in a career path.
If this certification is on your study list, a free and complete audio course is available in the Bare Metal Cyber Academy at baremetalcyber.com, complete with a study guide and a second ebook featuring 1,000 flashcard questions.
The reason this credential matters is simple. Artificial intelligence is no longer only a research topic or a side experiment. Organizations are using it in customer service, fraud detection, security monitoring, software development, analytics, hiring support, decision support, and business process automation. That creates real opportunity, but it also creates risk. Someone needs to ask whether these systems are governed properly, whether the data is trustworthy, whether outputs are being reviewed, and whether the organization can explain how the system is being used.
IEAA is best understood as an advanced audit specialization. It is not designed to turn auditors into data scientists. It is designed to help experienced professionals evaluate artificial intelligence through an assurance lens. The question is not, can you build the model? The better question is, can you evaluate whether the model, the data, the controls, and the surrounding process can be trusted? That makes this credential especially relevant for people who already understand audit work and now need to apply that judgment to artificial intelligence systems.
The issuing organization is ISAC, the same professional association behind credentials such as CISA, CISM, CRISC, CGEIT, and CDPSE. ISAC has long carried weight in the IT audit, governance, risk, privacy, and information security communities. That matters because AI audit is still a developing field. Organizations may know they are using artificial intelligence, but they may not yet have mature oversight, documentation, testing, monitoring, or accountability around that use.
This certification sits in the audit and assurance lane, but it reaches into several connected areas. It touches AI governance, data quality, privacy, model oversight, operational controls, risk management, and AI-enabled audit techniques. In practical terms, it is for people who need to review how artificial intelligence affects business processes, risk decisions, compliance obligations, and control environments.
The most natural audience includes IT auditors, internal auditors, technology risk consultants, governance professionals, compliance specialists, privacy professionals, and advisors who support responsible artificial intelligence programs. It is especially useful for people who ask questions like, who owns this system? What data trained it? What business decision depends on it? How are outputs reviewed? And what happens if the system fails or behaves unpredictably?
For early career professionals, AAIA is probably not the next exam to schedule. It is more likely a future milestone. If you are still building your foundation, you may be better served by learning basic IT, cybersecurity, audit, risk, governance, or compliance first. For many people, a broader audit credential, such as CISA, would make more sense before moving into this advanced artificial intelligence audit specialization. The exam is organized around three major areas. The first is AI governance and risk. This includes policies, ethics, privacy, data governance, regulations, organizational accountability, and risk management. The second is AI operations. This includes data management, system development lifecycle controls, change management, testing, vulnerabilities, and incident response. The third is AI auditing tools and techniques. This includes audit planning, evidence collection, analytics, reporting, sampling, and the use of artificial intelligence to support audit work.
That structure tells you a lot about what the exam values. It is not only asking whether you know the vocabulary of artificial intelligence, it is asking whether you can think like an auditor when artificial intelligence is part of the control environment. You need to understand how risk changes across the life cycle of a system, from business requirements and data selection through model development, production use, monitoring, and eventual retirement.
The exam rewards applied judgment. You may need to decide whether governance is strong enough, whether audit evidence is reliable, whether a control actually addresses the risk, or whether an organization has confused having a policy with having real oversight. That means memorization alone will not carry you very far. You need to connect artificial intelligence concepts to audit planning, evidence quality, control design, risk ownership, and business impact.
A common misconception is that this is a technical engineering exam. It is not. Technical familiarity helps, especially around data, models, testing, security, monitoring, and lifecycle management. But the center of gravity is assurance. An auditor does not need to personally build every system being reviewed. The auditor does need to know what questions to ask, what evidence to examine, what control weaknesses matter, and when risk should be escalated.
Preparation should begin with eligibility and fit. If you do not already have the required audit background or qualifying professional credential, your first step is building that foundation. That may mean gaining experience in IT audit, internal audit, control testing, compliance, risk assessment, or advisory work. It may also mean pursuing a broader audit credential before attempting this specialized one.
Once the fit is clear, study should start with the exam outline. Look at the major domains and learn what each one is really trying to measure. Do not treat the domains as isolated lists of terms. Treat them as parts of one story. Governance defines expectations. Operations show how artificial intelligence systems are built and used. Audit techniques help you evaluate whether those expectations are being met and whether the evidence supports the conclusion.
A good study plan should combine reading, listening, active recall, and scenario review. Reading gives you structure. Listening helps reinforce ideas during commutes, walks, or routine tasks. Flashcards help you test whether you can remember key terms and concepts without looking at the page. Scenario review helps you apply the material to real situations, which is essential for an exam built around professional judgment.
The Bare Metal Cyber Academy can fit naturally into that rhythm. The free audio course, developed by Bare Metal Cyber, can help with first-pass understanding and repeated review. The study guide can provide a more structured reading path when you need depth. The flashcards ebook can support short review sessions when you only have a few minutes. Together, those resources can help busy professionals move from recognizing a concept to explaining why it matters in an audit.
Hands-on thinking also helps, even if the exam is not a coding test. Take a common artificial intelligence use case, such as a chatbot, fraud detection model, recommendation engine, or automated decision support tool. Then ask what an auditor would need to know. What data does it use? Who approved it? How are outputs monitored? What happens when the system is wrong? How are exceptions handled? Who is accountable? What evidence would prove the controls are working?
Time management matters as well. The exam uses a fixed testing window, so candidates should practice reading carefully and moving steadily. Do not spend too much time fighting one difficult question. Mark it mentally, make the best decision you can, and keep moving. Scenario questions often include extra detail, so the skill is not only knowing the topic. The skill is identifying which details actually matter to the audit decision.
Weak areas should be handled early, not at the end. If AI operations feels difficult, spend more time there, because operational lifecycle controls are central to the credential. If governance language feels vague, translate it into practical questions about ownership, accountability, documentation, and oversight. If audit techniques feel abstract, connect them to evidence, sampling, reporting, and control testing. The goal is to make every topic usable, not just familiar.
Career impact depends heavily on where you are starting. For experienced auditors and advisors, AAIA can signal that you are ready to evaluate artificial intelligence systems through a structured assurance lens. For risk and compliance professionals, it can show that you understand how artificial intelligence changes accountability and control expectations. For privacy or security professionals, it can help connect technical risk to audit language and governance requirements.
Hiring managers are likely to view this credential as a specialized signal, rather than a broad entry-level marker. It says that you understand traditional assurance concepts and can apply them to emerging artificial intelligence risk. That can be valuable in organizations trying to adopt artificial intelligence responsibly, while still meeting business, regulatory, security, privacy, and governance expectations.
The credential also fits into a broader path. A person might begin with general IT, cybersecurity, or audit fundamentals. Then they might move into CISA, risk management, governance, privacy, or security management. After that, AAIA can become a focused specialization for artificial intelligence assurance. It is not the only path, but it is a logical one for people who want to work where audit and artificial intelligence meet.
It is also worth knowing when this certification is not the best fit. If your goal is hands-on security operations, another security analyst path may be more useful. If your goal is cloud engineering, a cloud architecture or cloud security credential may be a better match. If your goal is building machine learning models, a data science or machine learning path is probably more direct. AIA is strongest for people who want to evaluate artificial intelligence systems, advise on controls, and provide assurance around responsible use.
The bigger lesson is that artificial intelligence is becoming part of the normal control environment. Auditors, governance professionals, risk leaders, privacy teams, and security teams will increasingly need to understand how these systems are approved, monitored, tested, documented, and challenged. AIAA is one way experienced professionals can show that they are ready for that shift.
For early career professionals, the best approach is to treat this credential as a signpost. You may not be ready for it today, and that is fine. Start by building the foundation. Learn how systems work. Learn how controls work. Learn how risk is assessed. Learn how evidence is gathered. Learn how governance decisions are made. Then, when artificial intelligence audit becomes part of your role, this certification can make much more sense.
In the end, AAIA is best for professionals who already have an audit or advisory base and want to move into artificial intelligence assurance. It is advanced, specialized, and closely tied to the future of digital trust. If your career is moving toward IT audit, governance, risk, privacy, compliance, or responsible artificial intelligence oversight, it is a credential worth understanding. And when you are ready to study, the Bare Metal Cyber Academy resources can give you a structured and flexible way to prepare without turning certification prep into guesswork.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.